So here we are on part 2 for lesson 21. If you remember last time, what we did was change the background, and that's all we really did is we set up the second function for the background in this platform jumper game. We haven't actually put any functionality to tell when we're supposed to have which background, but we're going to get to that. Once again, just like Cake Defender, we're taking very small baby steps to be able to get this completed. We've got 20 different puzzles that we're going to be going through, and so this is number 5. So now that you've created your backgrounds, you need to choose when each background is drawn. For that, you'll need to create a score variable to hold the information about your player's score. You should always give your variables a starting value at the beginning of the program. That way, they are available for any code that comes after. So, you're going to create a score variable at the beginning of your game and set the score equal to 0. So, really easy. One line of code, we say var score equals 0, semicolon. And that's all you have to do for this particular puzzle. We can run this, and it still looks exactly the same as it did last time. We've got this nice orange background that I created. If we want to go back to the traditional stars that are coming down, we change that back to background 1, and then we have it here. Imagine in the next couple of screens, we're going to be figuring out how to determine whether we want background 1 or background 2. So finish this, move on to puzzle 6. And in this one, we are going to be choosing what background we're going to have. So now that you have your score variable, you can use it to choose the right background for the game. You can see an example of changing your background according to your score in lesson 19, level 12. And we've done this already. It's an if statement. So we can say if the score is equal to a certain something, we're going to change the background, else we're going to have a different background. So test your code by changing the start score to 100, then running the code to see whether the background changes. If you have a third background, you can click the plus sign at the bottom of the if block. Another space will appear for your third background function, as well as a place to check the score again. So, how do we do this? Really simple. Right here in our draw loop, we're going to put our if statement. So you can do an if else right here and put it on in there. You need to determine if you want, they were talking about, oh, I have to correct my error. Let me undo first. Maybe not. Okay, fine. Let's just get rid of this. All right. We'll go to blocks. I'll show you what they were talking about. So, if you drag your if-else block on over here to check and see which background you want, you can add this. So it checks if the score is a certain level, then you have background 1. Else, if it's a different level, you have background 2. Else, you have background 3. So you can do that if you want to be able to do kind of 3 different backgrounds. If you want to just stick with just the 2, then you're going to say if my score is greater than 19, so we'll say they have to get to 20 points, then we're going to have it do background 2. If the score is less than 20 points, then we're going to just have background 1. So let me get rid of this here. There we go. And then, so we have our functions. My function here. And we're going to say background 2. And since I'm lazy and I don't feel like dragging a whole bunch of blocks and typing stuff in, we're just going to copy here. So copy, paste, and then background 1. So right now I should have background 1, which I run and I do. Then if I change my score up here to be 20, then it's going to be my background 2. So you can test out and make sure that it works correctly by adjusting the score manually up here for now, because we don't have any way of increasing the score yet in our program. All we're doing is just testing our coding of changing the backgrounds between those two functions. So hopefully you were able to kind of get those two functions to work. And we're going to end this particular puzzle, and we're going to end this particular video, and we'll come back with puzzle 7 in the next video.